Masechet Menahot Daf Samach Amud Aleph, 4 lines from the bottom. Mina Hane Meri. Where do we know that the Menahot mentioned in the Mishnah need to be brought to Mizbeach? Dana Banan Ilu Nemar, the Pasuk only mentioned Vahavetad Asher Ala Me'ele Ha'el Hashem Ve'krivaha Ela Kohen Ve'Higisha. Ayutu Mer, the Pasuk would have taken out the word Minha when mentioning that you should bring it to the Mizbeach. I would have thought only the Komet needs to be brought. Minha, Minayin, and the rest of the Minha also needs to. Lamar, Minha, that's why the Pasuk mentions Minha. Minha, Hotemina, I know that a sin is Minha. To Lamar, Eta Minha. Vedinu. And logically, you might think you would need to bring the sinner's mincha. What do I need a pasuk for? Ne'emar hacha minchat hoba, mentioned by the sinner's mincha. Ne'emar have minchat nidva, also mentioned by the voluntary mincha. Ma minchat nidva, there you need the bringing in there. Minchat hoba, so what are the required? How you need to bring it. And if we say minchat nidva, but you can't compare it to voluntary mincha. Sheken te'una shem levana. It needs oil in levana, and the sinner's does not. Says, okay, fine. Minhat sotah, yeah, but the sotah's mincha will be a disproof to that, because there is no oil or levana, but you still need to bring it near. Malin chat sotah is different. Sheken te'ona tenufa, because it needs to be waved, and this sinners does not. Minhat nedavat a voluntary mincha does not need to be waved and still needs to be brought near. The hazar adin, and whenever we have each multiple items that have different common denominators, we say the following thing. The hazar adin, the arguments keep on going and bouncing off each other. Lord the following they each are not matching. What's the common denominator? They're all required for kmitzah, all required bringing the beach. So Siddur Mincha also needs to have kmitzah, maybe also need to be brought near. Why need a pasuk? Valentine Mincha and Sultan Mincha are both common denominators that they both need to be brought by a wealthy person, just like a poor person. But a sinner, they're not required by a wealthy person like a poor person. So therefore, since that's why you need pasuk tamar, etam mincha. Okay. Rabbi Shimon says, "If you shall bring regarding the Valentine mincha, that above mincha ta'omer hagasha, even a omer mincha is required to be brought near." The pasuk says, "V'havetev ta'omer reshit kisir echem el kohen." So we bring that to teach you that you need to be brought near. Vehekriva, and you shall bring it. That above mincha sotal hagasha that teaches you that even the sotal mincha also required. V'chein also the pasuk says, "Vehekriv ota el hamizbeach." You shall bring it to the mizbeach. V'dino, and logically, you should be able to learn it. What are you pasuk for? Umma minchat chote in a sinner's mincha she'ena te'una tenuvar is not to be waived. Te'una hagasha is to be brought. Minchat sotal she'ena tenuvar, so sotal mincha which does need to be brought waived. And the sotal hagasha is to be brought. But then we say no. Mala mincha chote she'ken ba'achitin. A sinner's mincha is different because it's used from wheat, and the sotah is barley. Versus minchat ha'omer tuchiach. The omer's mincha is different. This proves you, because the omer mincha also barley and needs to be brought to the mizbeach. Okay, fine, but mal mincha omer sheken te'una shem levana, but the omer mincha needs oil and levana. Does that not apply to the sotah? Mincha chotes tuchiach. But the sinner's mincha also proves that that's not necessarily a requirement, because we see oil and levana is not used for there, but you still need to be brought. Well, that didn't know these things. Such man was the common denominator. They both kimitza, both brought near. Afani ibn Hasutas can be also sotah as well. Sheftat the things that you do need kimitza. Sheftat haggis also need brought near. Why need a pasuk? Where it says master ben shehen sheken lo shul levo kemach. Maybe the common denominator would be between the sinner and the omer that they both don't need. They both cannot be brought with regular flour. They need to be fine flour. You can't bring a proof from the sotah's flour. Mincha shekshura levo kemach like regular flour. Therefore, the Gemara teach you that sotah mincha needs to be brought near. The reason it says v'havetah you shall bring it. That about mincha sotah gashat to teach you that the sotah's mincha needs to be brought near. The Chinur pasuk also says v'havetah korban hal you shall bring the korban for her. Aval minchata omer lo tzricha kirab, but according to Bidah, the omer mincha is not needed a pasuk. My time why? Medina I could logically bring it from a kav chomer. Ma minhat hotes and mincha she'ena turan tuvar not need to be waived. Teuna hakasha is only brought. Minhata omer she'turan tuva omer mincha which does need to be waived. Eno din she'turan hakasha for sure need to be brought. Then we say no, that's not a kav chomer. Ma minhat hotes she'ken ba'achitin. The sin mincha is different. That has wheat. Mincha sotetochia, but sotah mincha is different. This proves that because the omer is barley and this is also wheat. Where it says malach sotah she'ken ru'al barer avon. The sotah mincha. It comes to clarify to prove whether or not she sinned. The next three words are skipped according to many Pusim. Minchas Otetzach, but then instead of Minchas, it is proof because it does not need to be brought. V'haladin lo rizeh lo rizeh. Lo rizeh kizeh hen shehen shavu kmitzah shavu kasha. They both have kmitzah and bringing there. After the Omer, so to be the Omer as well. Sheshavatala and kmitzah also kmitzah shavu kasha my parachta. Therefore, it should also be brought near as well from the same common denominator. The Gemara says, no, he could refute the follows. Matzah for hen the common denominator Rabbi Sheken Mitzuyin. They're more frequent. Sinner Menachan Sutah more frequent because they brought any time of the year versus the Omer is once a year. Where it says, Adrabah, no. He mitziyas the Omer Mincha is more common because it's not more frequent per se, but it's more guaranteed it'll happen once a year versus the sinner or the sotah, not for sure going to be brought. Because sometimes the sinner or sotah will never happen. So therefore, the Gemara says, okay, we see which one holds from the word veheveta that teaches you to bring it to the Omer. Rabbi says it teaches you that the sotah is mincha. Or in Omer veheveta, maybe the pasuk says veheveta. Ela she'achir min hatavev v'tadim umevi min hata acheret. Teaches that the individual person can donate and bring another mincha. Hutz me'ela shebe'anyan. Besides those mentioned in the topic of menahot, v'dinu, and I'll tell you why. Tzibur mevi mincha min achitin chavad. The community brings a obligatory mincha through wheat. Umevi mincha min asorin chavad. Brings a the community also brings an obligatory mincha through barley, which is the omer. An individual brings the voluntary mincha of wheat. Also could bring a voluntary mincha of barley. The Pasuk says, only these halachot apply. To teach you that the voluntary mincha can be brought with barley. The Gemara says, read the word ela teaches you. Only according to the minachot that you have to, for the people who would say they want to bring mincha without saying which type. To teach you, you bring all 5 types. Therefore, he says, from these. He wants to bring 1 or 5, you can bring 1 or 5. Or it says, teach you other minachot are included. Teach you that mincha of goy, but mincha of women also need to be brought to Mizbeach. Maybe also the less lechem would also be brought near. From these. Why using the same word to include menachot to be brought to mizbeach and excluding shei lechem the champagne? Maybe it's the opposite. The Gemara says, I include other menachot because that at least gets burnt on mizbeach. These are not burnt. But the menchat nesachim is also completely burnt. It's more. It's completely burnt. Therefore, maybe you should be brought near. The more the pasuk says, ve'ekriva, to bring near, which excludes the Menachat Nesachim. Va'apikta, but we already use it to teach you that this Sadancha needs to be brought near. The Gemara says about Hikri ve'Hikriva, double Lashon. Teaches you. Amara Ita about Sha'ar Menachot L'Tziv Menachat Nesachim. Again, why? You're using this pasuk to include Menachot and exclude Nesachim versus the opposite. Where it says, Menabi Ani She'ab Menachot, I include Menachot, Sheba'ot Bigla Asman, because they come by themselves. And the Nesachim Mencha She'inam Bigla Asman, they don't come on its own, it comes as a secondary something else. But the Kohen's Mincha and the Kohen Gadol's Mincha, they don't come by themselves. They do come by themselves, and therefore you might think they should be brought near as well. The pasuk is to exclude it. V'hegisha. You can't teach me that teaches you that excludes the Kohanim and the Kohen Gadol. You need to teach me that pasuk is talking about the Omer, that specific halacha that needs to be brought. The wording of the pasuk teaches you it. Okay, again, why do you want to include other menachot and exclude the Kohen and the Kohen Gadol's mincha versus the opposite? I include other menachot. They're person of fire. They also brought themselves. They also give it to the Kohanim. And they exclude the shei lechem and the they're not burnt in the and I exclude the menachim. They don't come by itself. Also these are not given to the Kohanim at all. Veherim, pasuk says veherim, you separate it. Yachol bechli, maybe you have to separate with the vessel. Tamar, the pasuk says veherim imenu bekumso, with its comets. Ma ha'arama amur halam bekumso. Afar ma hamur kamen. So just like over there is referring to the comets, the special format of doing the kmitza. So too very well, the same thing.